is the only person that has challenge when it comes to some of these socially conscious notes. But maybe specifically Ramona, because she brought the most noise to it. And create, I think, what everybody thought was going to be a very kind of interesting, compelling content story. And again, go through the evolution. I don't think they set Ramona up to fail, I'll tell you that. I think they picked me and picked this whole thing because they thought it was going to be a nice bow on the, rapper ending. And it kind of was.
Right.
Until it aired.
Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
So we started with the third category where your castmates thought you were, slanty, things that were upsetting them in interviews, and then they
challenging them. I was challenging them. All of them.
Down.
Yeah.
Did that then start? Did you see that getting worse in interviews from your castmates when this whole ratings thing now came into play?
Of course, because this goes back to what I just said. It's really all about the Benjamins. 100%, 100%,
because
right?
now you have 3 housewives that are making, $7
over $1 million.
Right,
yeah, we all know that exactly.
Right.
So
this is now not anymore right.
This is now nobody gave a like at this point. Yeah, no one's really giving a shit about your social conscious at work or agenda. Eboni, get the fuck out of here, bitch. We have bills to pay.
This is $1 million, and it might be going away.
And I get it. And I totally get it. I'm not aligned with it. But game recognized game, and I can get and understand it. Which is why I don't take it personally. It's not about me. It's not like, I just hate Eboni K. Williams. I hate anything that is a threat to my bottom line and my ability to further work in the space. I get it.
Right.
I get it. It's just not my problem.
Right.
Right? Because that's where I think there was a little disconnect, is I think there was some element of, you understand this, right? You're a businesswoman, Eboni. Of course I am. Of course I understand. Not my issue. Not my issue. Your issue.
Right.
Not my issue. Yeah.
Right. Did it go so far? Did you get calls, hey,
of course.
It's me, Ramona, Luann. Are you there, Sonia, on the other line? Okay, Eboni, we have to have a talk here. Was it
well, no, there was no collective call, although...
girl, listen, this is how this works.
No, and I don't think that I would have complied, because I'm not a complicit type of bitch, but I could have respected that more. I think that would have had a little bit more integrity, what you're suggesting, which is a kind of almost a team meeting of sorts that says, okay, you're new here. We're going to explain this to you in the senses to, we can have our bickering and we can have our fights and we can have our whatever, but when the shit hits the fan, where we are all aligned and bought in is the financial interest and well-being of the show. And then I would have let them know, that's great, I'm not bought into it in that way, and this is where we have to part company. But it could have been better communicated and really transparent and clear. Instead, that didn't happen, and I think they had those talks amongst themselves. And, that's their prerogative. That's their right. I'm not going to be mad at that.
So what happened instead of that?
I think they had those conversations amongst themselves, and I don't know that they were all involved, but I certainly know some were. And there was probably a little bit of a decision to, I don't know, ice me out maybe. I don't know. That's what I can presume from the way it kind of went down. And
do you think that was all 4?
No.
3?
Yeah.
The one person that was not involved?
Again, I don't know. I just know who I'm still in a relationship with and who I'm not. That's all I know. And again, I don't spend my time, Dave, because I'm not a petty bitch. I'm not an immature woman. So this is ultimately business. And I know that some of the fans hate that. And I understand why, because I'm a Day One Housewives fan where it really was vintage. The networks and cameras really parachuting in on authentically existing friend circles, or at least social circles, and it was the best. Of course it was.
We're way past that.
But we're way past that. That's the thing.
That
model has long expired, okay? Because here's the reality. The network has exhausted the people that were in those authentic worlds. And they either brought them on and it did work or didn't, or they passed on those people, okay? So here we are. So here we are.
This is
right?
how it works.
So this is the new format.
Listen, I think of it like a business too. People are like, I'm like, I can't get emotional about anything I see on the TV. I just know too much.
And that's the thing. So now it's a business, and you see even with the new generations, whether it's Salt Lake City or whatever, they're doing really phenomenally well. But they're kind of the new vein. They are being cast in this similar way. So I think it's time for people to let go of some of that nostalgia of like wanting the old school Jill and Ramona on the tennis court day. It's simply not coming back.
Never.
And by the way,
it's
even
never
if
coming back.
And I'm all for bringing back vintage housewives. Like Jill, Dorinda, particularly, like whatever, great. Bethany, awesome, amazing. Bring them all back. Kelly Vince, I don't give a fuck. I think we should have 20 housewives on New York, quite frankly. But everybody's famous now, too. That's the other quiet secret nobody wants to say out loud. These women are not zany, kooky, Upper East Side, anonymous people. They're hugely fucking famous and very important. And so they're moving differently.
Yeah. You mean the people that are on the
Yes!
show? Yeah.
Yes! And that's impacting it, for better or worse. So some of that unawareness or it's gone now because the stakes are too high to be unaware.
Yeah.
When
it's like $1 million or just you'll do what.
Yes, and so that's the thing. So, I think that's a little bit of what people saw. It wasn't just, a black woman and white women. What you're seeing is a woman who's very differently incentivized into her reason for being a part of this than my castmates. You're seeing a woman who comes from a television production background in a very different way than my castmates. You see a woman who was like, I will do this, but only on my terms, by way of like authentically engaging with you. So this like need for you to like make a moment or like, we're making a TV show. I don't give a fuck. I'm a TV show. Like I really have a lot of confidence in that. Meaning like I've been on TV in some capacity since I was 6. I don't have any insecurity, David, about my ability to be compelling when a camera is in front of me. So I don't have any desire to up the ante.
Do you think they were shocked? Because, this could have been anyone. Even if it wasn't a black woman, it's like every year you don't know what the new person's going to do. I know
100%.
you think it could be like an indoctrination and like, honey, this is how it works. Right. And, even though you're making your 100,000 and they're making their million.
Right.
But they could have. So, do you think they were shocked? Like,
100%.
Well, she ain't playing over here.
I think they were shocked, and I think they were just really uncomfortable. And by the way, it makes sense why they would be. I also, and actually you saw Leah talk about this a little bit in this Salem episode, where it's like not only is she, whatever, black, blah, 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 she has a very different personality than these women you're used to, including, she was saying herself. She's like, when Tinsley came, Tinsley was getting hazed by the veteran housewives till her last day. Literally.
Yes.
And I love Tinsley. But she was. You could even see it.
She was.
If like, I remember watching this, they did an episode of the Today Show. It was like, I don't know if it was maybe Sonia and Ramona and Tinsley. But my God, the girl, like, you could tell she was so, I don't know. She just wasn't, she didn't feel free, is what I witnessed as a journalist. I saw a young woman who is in her mid-40s and, very wealthy and, has all the things, but didn't feel free to kind of go toe-to-toe with these women in that way.
During this interview on the Today Show.
And this was an interview on the Today Show. This isn't even the show. So we of course saw it all of her seasons on the show. And then, there was Leah, who I think gave a lot more toe-to-toe-ness, but still, as she admitted, kind of let them punk her a bit. And I'm not having any of it. And by the way, they could have been from Nigeria. They could have been the Real Housewives of fucking Nigeria, Laos. I'm not having it because of my background. So this isn't just about the black woman thing. This is how I grew up. This is my childhood. This is how hard I've had to work and how much I've had to overcome to get to where I am in this world, David. I'm not going to be hazed by nobody. So I don't give a fuck about your 7-figure check or how long you've been an OG or owe this. Bitch, bye. So, yeah.
Well, to that point, you see my wheels turning. I never thought of this before, but right. So, I guess it would have been the same if, Eboni moved down south and started
Atlanta
on Atlanta
sure.
or Potomac.
Sure, of course. In the sense that Yes, and I mean, I make it a habit now to discuss, the housewives of other cities because I got enough shit to talk about with these women I'm on the show with. But absolutely, and I will say there's like casual connection with me and some of the other housewives in different cities, and I'm sure if they were ever freely speaking about it in an interview, they would affirm what I'm telling you.
Affirm what? That you're not gonna...
I'm not fucking with nobody when it comes to this. Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean...
And I think you believe that. I think you desperately believe that.
I do. Well, I mean, it's kind of like what we talked about during our first chat where you said, and I don't know what my question was, that, you want to remain authentically yourself throughout this whole process. The second time you came on, I asked, and you said you did. And I believe that, the goal wasn't money. Well, I mean...
It couldn't be.
You're implying you got your 100,000, which is what Carol got instead of your 60, but right.
And it was the same analysis of what Carol said. Like, it was just, not... It was just principle. Because, like, what are you going to do with $40,000? I mean, you're going to pay bills, to be clear.
Right.
But it wasn't like a make or break. It was just the principle of, I have a rate in this business, right? And, like, at some point, we have to just honor that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right, like you didn't come on for the money, I mean, the money could be $1 million eventually, but you came on for this higher.
Yeah, but again,
purpose.
Even that like $1 million, like God is good, and I don't want to be crass here. I got a lot of avenues to a very healthy income.
Right.
And I'm not going to have to wait, for a 10-year RHONY cycle to get there.
That is what it is.
And that's just what it is, and that's a good thing. I think people should be really happy that there are some people in this universe that don't have that, for lack of a better term, that kind of desperation around, like, this is I have to play this game in a very dirty way in order to be able to, what do you call it?